easy. Okay, maybe I'll do it at halftime. Doing?
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Hi.
What's that?
Yeah. Boys. Yeah.
Huh. Would you feel comfortable with that? Like, true. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, can you, I don't care, just arrange time with Roger. We'll get Roger to come along, I think. I'm like, we're just getting ready for the game. I can call on my way home, but if you have a chance now, you're busy at the event, or are you? Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah, if you don't mind, can you do it? Like, do you have time, or are you busy with the show? Okay. 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 Perfect, yeah, because we're playing in 25 minutes and we just need to do a few things. So I'll text you his number and that'd be great. That sounds excellent. Okay. Yeah, I'm not even worried about that, to be honest. Like, whatever, if there's a problem, there's a problem. You gotta deal with it, like, whether it's before or after, so. I don't know. Roger might have sorted that one out, I don't know. I'll text you Roger's number. Okay, love you. Thank you. Bye. What? Oh, thank you. Okay, bye. Hey, Tim. I would love a hot chocolate, please. You want a coffee?
I'll take a coffee, yeah.
Crystal, I don't drink coffee, but
Just black for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't drink coffee, but Chris is here. He'd love a coffee. What do you want in your coffee?
Just black.
Just black. Okay, thanks. All right, bye. Damn it. Why is everything happening 25 minutes before the dinner?
What's going on? Can I help you with something?
I have to text my fiance
Okay.
the number of our realtor because we're closing on our property.
Okay.
And our inspection didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, no worries.
You know,
I was just about to say congratulations.
Thank you. Like, a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It was zoned, they listed on the sign as being, great residential and commercial property, but it's not actually commercial, it's zoned residential, which is great, but you run a home business, but the municipality was like, oh, you can't run a wedding venue here because it needs this and that and the other environmental assessment, which we actually don't, it turns out, which is great, but then we canceled our home inspection until we could get other stuff in line, and now that it's hard to get one, and
Rolls down it.
yeah. What's your name?
It'll be last minute because we have to add
And less people in this game are really good. They might bump people.
That's what I'm saying, it'll be last minute. So we're just trying to figure out a way of moving on. I don't know yet. Because it needs to be done in order, right? I'm just thinking, could we give it to the players that are not here, kind of like say them really quickly, or does it have to be done in order?
Kind of makes sense to go by position.
Yeah, it does make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be more difficult to know who's here and who's not.
Nobody from Nipsey or Guelph's going to be here.
Yeah.
And I doubt people from McGill.
I doubt people from McGill are going to be
Brock are going to be here. I think Brock's probably gone to St. Catherine's. And
They all gone.
Yeah, the way it's structured right now.
Just like, they're gonna take pictures, but don't wait too long. Well, it depends on how many of these two teams, but I imagine a lot would be.
yeah. Probably about 4-ish for me.
They're gonna get you going, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh cup of hot coffee. Of course.
Sorry, I wasn't realizing you had it here.
Richard Fontaine. Listen to
Yeah.
it's fun.
Just to remind you, usually in that whole third part, right? So, just as the handshake is not coming to an end from
So binary. Like, well, it's like the ultimate failure or lose versus.
Yeah.
Do you know
Is it
who's
false?
be out there awarding the trophies?
No. I think we should have Ryman trophies available, but I don't know if it's here.
Everything you need to
Probably
do.
Dave said it is.
Well, Nathan's on here, but just went to somebody else.
Yeah.
You guys want to share it? Probably Boston.
Sorry, you did? Yeah, my senior.
Oh, is that the front area? There you go, because you look at, because by now you're looking back. Right. That's the point. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, everything's good anywhere. Yeah, they've got, everything's good. I even got the league executives coffee. I wish I should have brought more. Better, it's closer up here, isn't it?
Well, we're not, so we're out.
It's gonna be a better shop.
But this is just for
Oh,
it's not for the street. We make videos there.
This journey is
This is
just.
just to upload to,
So it's just sticking the full view.
yeah, it's,
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
Mr. Stan.
Test 1 2 3. 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 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Test test test. I'm getting a little. Test, 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 test.
We're good. Assisted by number 14, Cody Ward.
All right, welcome back, lacrosse fans. Sorry, I'm not sure. Sounds like we had a little issue with the sound, so I don't know what you've all heard. We had a whole pregame. We went through all kinds of keys to the game, talked about the 16 teams and who's still on these teams. From then, we did a lot of stuff. It was good stuff. We're going to go through it all again. Just we'll do it gradually. But right now it's 2-1 Western. We're just under 3 minutes. You've been able to see it, so you get that. A huge goal again. Nick Ferris on the power play being set up by Cody Ward. And now Nick Tchaikovsky comes up into the offensive zone. Trent so far seems to be sticking with keeping Tchaikovsky rested, not playing on defense. So we'll see how that works out for them. Peroni takes the pass. Great to see him back for Trent. And Kyle Dawson, number 43 for Western, is back. Those guys both away at NLL camps earlier in the weekend, not able to make it until today. Here's Peroni, who on his first dodge in the game went through about 3 people. As you pointed out.
That's it. And he may end up taking the role that Garrett Eddy had before he got injured.
Yeah, they're isolating him. He's definitely not the same player Eddie is. He's not as quick as Eddie, but I mean, who is? But he's got more strength, more power, and maybe a little more versatility or variety to his game. Tried to shovel that one to Tchaikovsky. Couldn't do it. Now Crowley's going to try and get on this ball, but Curtis Conley is there. He peels back. He gets stripped by Crowley. Here's Julian Simeone. Oh, right in front. What a pass. Simeone takes the big hit to make the pass over. I got to check who that is. Michael Byrne, the D-Mini.
Yeah, great pass and good finish, too. And I think that situation started probably with Peroni kind of hero dodging and making a bit of a forced, underhanded, one-handed shovel pass.
Yeah, I mean, he had the collapse coming, so the right idea to get it to Tchaikovsky, but instead of being able to shovel it horizontally, he got it quite vertical. Crowley tried to grab it. It was eventually grabbed by John Kitt, who tossed it over to, I think it was Kitt, it was Hayden Nix, who anyway tossed it ahead to Crowley. He gives it off to Simeone, and Simeone draws that defender, and then Byrne was just streaking in support. And Simeone basically just kind of tossed the ball up, leaving it there for Byrne to run onto. Perfect play. Simeone paid the price, taking a big hit.
Western with possession out after the faceoff.
So glad we've got sound here. There is an echo, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do anything about that, but we will continue for now. We'll check things out when we get a bit of a break here. Coming up, we're into the final 30 seconds of this first quarter. Western with the ball and a 3-1 lead, and boy, it's critical for Trent not to fall too far behind. We saw them yesterday fall down 4-1 to Brock and then come back. We talked about how if a bigger hole than that takes a lot of energy to come out of. That comeback seemed to almost spur them on, give them some momentum. Here's Kyle Dawson from behind. Stripped momentarily, yeah, great job there by Riley Campbell. And the quarter will end with Western leading 3-1. We're going to take a quick break. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Mederi, and we'll be back for the second quarter.
All right, welcome back, lacrosse friends. It is 3-1 for Western over Trent. We're about to hit the face-off here, and we're just going to run through a couple of things. We did talk about our keys to the game. We figured for Trent, they've got to score more than 5 goals because Western has given up just 5 goals in each of their playoff games. Getting Nick Tchaikovsky rest on defense so they can really have him fresh in the third and fourth quarter, as they did yesterday against Brock, and that was really critical for Western, winning faceoffs so they can control the pace of the game, not let Trent slow it down. Western would rather go, I think, a little faster, which is part of the identity they've kind of shifted to in the last couple of years, and then scoring depth, guys outside of Cody Ward scoring, and so far, that's going dynamic, just perfectly for Western. Here's Curtis Conley. He's going to spin away from the check by Simeone. Looking back, he will go to Dylan Monroe. Monroe has to track it down. Monroe, the starter for Trent. And at the other end, Michael Orlando for Western. Here's pressure from Simeone. Nice little spin, but Monroe, he's going to get it to Tchaikovsky. And Tchaikovsky's going to be able to just run this one out of trouble. It may have sounded overconfident to say that with 2 Western players there, but Nick Tchaikovsky can just generally run through people. Yeah. He is just a dynamic player. Gets it over to Adam Kitchen. Here's Nick Andrioli. Over to Adam Peroni, and we've been talking about what an addition Peroni is, having been away at NLL camp.
Yeah, kind of coming back at a crucial time with Garrett Eddy's injury yesterday.
Yeah, and Garrett Eddy, we mentioned on the opening that Eddy was in warm-up, and he went out for he's dressed, he was in warm-up, he went out for the captain's meeting with the refs, as Peroni's dodging to the net, and just pulls his shoulder down, and rips one, goes a little bit wide, the save by Orlando, knocking it wide, but that is, we talked about the dimension Peroni brings that Eddy doesn't. Eddy can make those dodges, and he will shoot on the run because he gets clear of everyone with his quickness. Peroni has that extra bullishness where he can just put his shoulder down like he just did.
He certainly showed it there.
Nice timing there, Adam Peroni.
Strength to spare.
Andrioli, back to Peroni, and there's Tchaikovsky. McWilliams and Kitchen, 99 and 55 respectively, the 2 main attack players for Trent, and then they've had Cole Hanrahan running in attack. He's listed as a mini, he's wearing number 16, he's down right behind A.J. Skirving's 47, and he has been filling in, scored the first goal for Trent today, and he's just zipping around trying to find spots in the defense, and Western will have to keep an eye out. Flag coming as that was Keegan Crowley getting the stick on the helmet of Tchaikovsky. Yeah, so that should be a minute. Big chance for Trent. They're going to need to creep back into this. I think the 60-minute... No, another flag has gone down over right by the scorer's booth.
Maybe an unsportsmanlike?
I can't imagine it would be Keegan Crowley. Maybe from the bench, because Crowley just ran to the boxes, so he knew what he'd done. He just took off. Or was there some kind of a substitution issue? There is another player from Western running off the field. Michael Byrne is heading to the bench. Yeah, they've only got 4 guys there, so...
Certainly the situation that Trent wants at this point.
Yeah, now Byrne is going into the offensive end, and Tristan Simeone is going to the penalty box, I think. No, they don't put somebody else there.
That'll just be for a later substitution.
Okay, they have sent someone. So it was a bench penalty. Blake Goris is gone, and there's a big save on Orlando. Well, it was knocked away, so Trent maintains possession. They have to score on this one. We feel like they've got to take advantage. Here's Tchaikovsky. He scored from there yesterday. This time he's going to go to Kitchen. They quickly get on Kitchen. Back Andrioli to McWilliams. But Kitchen's a deadly shooter, but he needs a little time and space. And you can see Greg closing on him. There's a post from Hanrahan. That's going to be Trent retaining possession. McWilliams will go and get it.
Western man down team doing a great job to limit the shots to those kind of high angle ones.
They've had 1 release now, so it's a 6-on-5. Crowley waiting to come out, and boy.
That's a huge stand for the defense.
See what they can do in the final stages here. Andrioli up to Tchaikovsky, back to Andrioli. He drops it. Skirving on his stick. Andrioli goes down, and there's a flag coming, and that's going to be John Gregg going. And Nick Andrioli definitely took a hit. I think he may have helped the official make that call when he kind of grabbed his head.
It's hard to say if that was embellishment or just protecting himself.
True.
Yeah.
So Crowley is released. He comes out, and Gregg goes to the penalty bench, penalty chair. Williams up to Tchaikovsky, or to Baroni. Oh, they tried to feed it through to Hanrahan. He couldn't get it. Skirving has it. Tchaikovsky is riding him, and then Tchaikovsky's heading to the bench. So clearly, Trent is looking at, as we talked about, resting him every chance they get. Curtis Romanchuk comes out.
Yeah, just again, Western's man down team doing a fantastic job killing those multiple penalties.
Yeah.
Still one left to go, but they've got possession, and they don't look like they're going to give it up very soon.
Not in a big rush. It was Hayden Nix. He's pressured by Andrioli. We'll just lob it over to the far side. Western very patient. Interesting yesterday that they didn't really push the pace. They were quite patient, quite methodical on their clears, and they've really become the transition run and gun team. Not run and gun, but run with control over the last couple of years. They're back to even strength. The pass to Skirving short hops him, so he just protects it and comes up with the ball. Good heads-up play. Oh, but that pass was lobbed. It's going to be picked off. Oh, not quite. Kitchen was about 2 inches away from getting that and beat it all alone on a breakaway, which basically would have meant to a goal with his shooting skill. Boy, Hayden Nix was very calm there with that.
I know.
Kitchen rushing in. Not much he could do except for reach up for the ball. Well, he could have actually stepped towards it, I guess, which would have been the smart play.
Yeah, Hayden Nix has been playing for a very long time.
Yes.
He's been in that situation more
As you said a couple times over the weekend, if they win today, it'll be 100 career Kufla wins for Hayden Nix.
Not to mention several championships. Yeah.
Is this his third year now with Western, or second? This is his third year,
I
right?
think it's his third year, yeah.
Cody Ward, sidearm, low sidearm. He's flattened as he takes it, but finds the back of the net. It's 4-1 Western.
Trent's now in the same position they were in yesterday, around the same time.
Have them just where they want them. I'm so glad you did the diabolical laugh, because that's what I was thinking. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Mederi. It is 4-1 Western, and well, we're enjoying this weekend. It's been terrific lacrosse. A couple of fairly wide spreads Friday night, but decent games than yesterday. Just great lacrosse games. Trent with the overtime short-handed goal by Curtis Conley to defeat Brock, the undefeated Brock, and then undefeated McGill falling to Western in a 6-5 game. Trent winning 9-8 yesterday. Trent's path to the final was an 8-2 regular season record. Both losses to McGill, one of them in overtime. Then they beat Queens 6-4 in the play-ins, Guelph 11-5 Friday, and Brock 9-8 yesterday in that overtime win. Western went 7-3, losing 2 games to Brock and 1 to Guelph. They beat McMaster 8-5, Nipissing 12-5, and McGill 6-5 yesterday. Ryan McLean passes it through to Julian Simeone, and he is stopped by Monroe. Little roll pass by Tchaikovsky. Smart heads-up play to Conley, who just passed it from almost a spot he shot from yesterday. McWilliams scores. Great ball movement on the fast break from Trent, and that's a timely goal for the Excalibur.
And this is exactly what Trent needs to do. Get those quick goals, as we said earlier, so they can rest their Tchaikovskys, their Peronis, and just overall get more rest for their team, because they're so have so much less depth than the Western squad.
And I mean, visually, you can see it. You just look at the Western bench; it's a wall of purple,
double the length.
Yeah. I mean, Trent's got some guys they'll put in, but they have some young players, and you don't want to put some of the guys who haven't played a lot into this situation. That's a big step to take. We talked about all the earlier. I guess you guys didn't hear it. We talked about the players from Western who were on the team back in 2016 when these two teams met in the championship and Western won 11-7. Cody Ward was playing a pretty big role, but then they had 5 guys who are key players now that weren't playing big roles then were on the team. Nick Ferris, Michael Byrne, Cole Davis, Tristan Simeone, and AJ Skirving, who are all key components now, weren't playing big roles then. For Trent, Garrett Eddy had 4 goals then. He can't play today, or hasn't been. He's still standing on the sideline, still has his stick. Cole McWilliams and Adam Kitchen didn't score in that game. Adam Peroni was playing a bit of a role. Some of the guys, I remember Ethan Schott really broke out at that tournament, had a great performance. Here's Cody Ward. And Connor Laird just ran through the pick that was set there by Cole Davis and was able to keep Ward out at bay, and Trent gets the ball back.
I think it was Julian Simeone that dropped that pass. I think that was a pretty important one to field.
Yeah, I mean, momentum's such a big deal. Yeah. On that last Trent goal, as Tchaikovsky is protecting the ball here, I was just saying, what a play by Tchaikovsky. You don't always have to make the big pass, the laser pass. He just made a nice little roll pass on the ground to Conley, knowing that Conley was in position to get it, and that's what started the whole play, because he didn't really have a passing lane. So that kind of veteran leadership, and again, Tchaikovsky, a 5-time All-Canadian, 3 times with Nipissing, now 2 times with Trent while he's there at Teachers College. So hands it off to Guts Salinas. Boy, it would be huge for them if he can play some key minutes and make a couple contributions. A goal or so would really help. Here's Tchaikovsky. Somehow protects the ball, but eventually Greg strips it. What a job. And then to get through the check from McWilliams and Kitchen and very calmly pass it over to Skirving. Still pressure from McWilliams. Kit near the back line, gets it across to Skirving. Henry will push him a little bit. Skirving's got Kit. Ahead to Hayden Nix. And they're close to clearing. Rowan McLaughlin was actually just waving Nix ahead. Say, go ahead, run it, and I'll stay back.
Giving him the space. That's an experienced move right there.
Yeah.
And Western defense in the setup scenario are not giving an inch at all.
No.
They're looking pretty vicious.
We've talked about how Western is so, they just kind of at you in waves at both ends of the field.
That's it.
Here's Tristan Simeone. Takes a couple of whacks there from Riley Campbell. Ward, watched by Laird, will just lob it across. Nice save by Dylan Monroe, but the ball pops free. Trent couldn't pick it up, and it's going to be scooped back up by the original shooter, Kyle Dawson. Ball still loose. Oh, what a pickup by Conley. Fight off 2 Mustangs, win the ground ball, get into space, and then toss it back as he drew the double team. Gets to Campbell. Campbell loses the ball, and there is a nice swoop by Connor Laird.
Risky business running towards the crease.
Yeah.
with 2 men on you there.
Dylan Monroe stepped out and set a pick, and Tristan Simeone kind of bumped him, sort of leaned in so he would have contact. It's an interesting move. We saw the vicious assault on the goaltender in yesterday's game that you thought was just lovely play. I told you I wasn't going to let go of that. Kitchen feeds it through, can't get to McWilliams. Did it touch a Western player? If so, it's going to be Trent Ball. Oh, we have a penalty coming, actually, so it doesn't matter. Trent will retain possession. And the clock's going to be stopped here for a moment. It is 4 15-minute running time quarters, a change from last year as Kufla has followed the world lacrosse changes and gone with 60-minute games instead of 80 minutes. And Trent's going to take a timeout here with 2:15 to go in a power play, down 4-2. They're such a resilient lot. I mean, I find when Western's playing, when they were coming back yesterday against McGill, sometimes there's just, it's hard to describe. It's almost an air of inevitability.
Yeah.
That they're coming at you and they're going to get it done. And I think it's critical for Trent to not let that develop. And Trent just doesn't seem to, I know they're pretty relaxed kind of crew. It's not that they don't take it seriously. They take this very seriously. You can see by how excited they were yesterday. Mark Farley's out there jumping for flying body bumps with his players, and like they're excited. But I mean, they don't follow the type of warm-ups a lot of teams do. They just don't see them out on the field a lot before the game. They deal with their things. They do their own way, and they're pretty relaxed about things. And I think that's part of what's making them successful. Is they don't get overly stressed out about things. I mean, it means a lot.
Their game. Yeah. They play their game. They want it. They believe in themselves. All those good things. And,
I wouldn't want to make it sound like they don't want, like they don't, they want it. It can sound like that, but they are passionate. They're out there. Like if they win today, you'll see in the celebration how much it means to them.
Absolutely. I think maybe they don't play with the same chip on the shoulder per se that Western does.
Yeah, it's a different chip.
Different chip.
Western is, the 3-time defending champions.
Playing like they have something to prove.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They've lost some very good players. I think the one big difference is not having Austin Haber. Now, it is another 6-on-4, so there was an additional penalty. And again, it's Blake Gore scoring, so it's another team penalty. And there's a rip! Adam Kitchen! We talked about how he needs a bit of space. He's deadly on the power play.
Wow.
Yeah. Heat. Well put. He can just absolutely rip it. A gorgeous stroke.
Goal comes at an important time for Trent in the closing moments of the second quarter here.
Yeah, and now, is Western back to full strength now? Was everything released? It looks like they are.
Looks like it.
Yes. 9 runners out there.
Second outside. Trent Ball's going number 55. Adam Kitchen. Assisted by number 24, Nick Tchaikovsky.
Romanchuk swoops in to get that one. Can't quite grab it. Tchaikovsky fighting to pick it up. I think that's going to be a loose ball push. Yeah, and one of the Trent players, didn't see whether it was Romanchuk or McLaughlin, just kind of pushed the Western player who was fighting for the ball in the back and shoved him to the ground. So Western gets possession. Keegan Crowley is directing some traffic as he waits to hand it off to Nick Ferris. Now we're into the final minute of the half, and Western is going to look for a chance to try to extend their lead, get it back to a multi-goal lead. Here's Cole Davis. I haven't seen a lot of Davis today. He was sensational on Friday. Cody Ward gives it to Ferris. Oh, Ward actually bobbles the pass. It was pretty hot. Romanchuk on him. It's tapped around by Campbell. Campbell knocks it loose and is going to try and pick it up. Not sure if he sees the man behind. Oh, what a play to swat it ahead. Here's a chance. McWilliams. Twister. It was hand-to-hand stopped. I'm kind of flabbergasted that Cole McWilliams didn't shoot that ball. I thought it was in perfect position.
Likewise.
He's not usually tentative to pull the trigger. Did Western get possession? It looks like they're taking a timeout, so they must have had possession. I didn't think anybody picked the ball up, but... All right. And we just turned the volume up a little bit here. So, hey, if anybody's listening and wants to say if you hear me a little bit better now, that would be great. But we're going to go to the half. We will take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back with Western and Trent for the Baggataway Cup Championship. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back, lacrosse fans, to the 2019 Baggataway Cup. I'm Stephen Stamp, joined by Chris Maderi. It is 4-3 for Western. They led 4-1. Trent with a comeback to get within a goal in the late stages of that second quarter. It'll be fascinating to see how this plays out. It's been quite a matchup. I think it's anybody's game.
I agree. And I think the score reflects that, and I think the gameplay so far has reflected that. Western just setting up another one of their clears now.
Super patient, and again, I mean, Keaton Crowley wasn't even looking to run up the field. He was just circling back the whole way, lobbed it over to A.J. Skirving, who now goes to John Kitt.
Up to Hayden Nix for the clear. Nix had several clears where he's gone into the offensive end. Showing some of that experience.
Western taking their time in the offensive zone as well. There's Nick Ferris behind that, watched by his opposite number 24, Nick Tchaikovsky, with two Nicks. I think we'll see a lot of Tchaikovsky now in the second half. I think resting in the first was the idea, and now we're going to get to see Tchaikovsky with his full field game.
That's what I want to see. I don't think we've seen it yet all weekend.
Yeah, no, just little flashes here and there. He is a great defender. That's why I think they're putting him on Nick Ferris, who's been outstanding all tournament. I would venture to say those are the two top midfielders in this tournament, and it's great to see them locking up. Across to Ward, he's off on his offside, rips a low to high, but way too high. That's going to head out onto Sherbrooke Street. No, it comes back. Just caught enough of the fence. We're here at Concordia University. If you're wondering why, if you hadn't heard earlier, the Montreal Alouettes with a playoff game today. And originally, I think the plan was they were going to play any playoff game at the Olympic Stadium. They decided they wanted to be in Percival Molson Stadium, which meant we had to get out yesterday afternoon. And we had to come over here. And we did have to leave right after the game yesterday. There was not a lot of mucking about. Here's Ward still on the offside. Bounce shot off the post by Tristan Simeone. Julian's tracking down. It's going to be Cole Davis that gets there first. It heads out to play off the post, so it will be Western possession.
Julian Simeone with the ball up top now. Looking to initiate. Western's been running this 1-4-1 offense all weekend.
Little sidearm underhand shot by Simeone. Stopped by Monroe. He just puts his hand up and says, "We're good. Let's go." And they give it to Tchaikovsky. Under some pressure, throws it back to Monroe. Here comes Ward on the ride, and he loves to ride. I was talking to one of the McGill coaches before the game, who was saying, with Ward, center means nothing to him when he's riding. He'll just keep going and just make sure somebody's going to, somebody will stay for him. But he wants to ride, he wants to check guys, and he will just keep going. Adam Peroni, again back from NRL camp, helping out over to Cheeto Andrioli. Now we're going to get it to Tchaikovsky. He got some space for him. He's one-on-one with John Gregg. To his offside. Rips it, scores! Tchaikovsky, high to laser.
High to high, stick side high even.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just believing in your shot and overpowering him.
That brings the score to 4-4. All even here in the middle of the third quarter. Yet another fantastic game on our hands.
Trent goal scored by number 24, Nick Tchaikovsky.
What a tournament this guy's having. We mentioned 5-time All-Canadian. In most people's eyes, I would say the best player in this league all around. Here's Keegan Crowley. Can be a big impact player for Western. He's going to go up and stay for a bit of an offensive set. Now he's heading off, and Kyle Dawson will come out and join the attack. Dawson, a natural leader. He was among the captains group for Canada at the World Junior Championships last year in Saskatchewan. He's been with the London hockey team that has won the Sutherland Cup, and he was captain for that team, and they're thrilled to have him back. 5 minutes into the third quarter. Here's McLaughlin. Sideline rip. Stop by Monroe. Some of the Western fans were cheering. They thought that one had gone in.
It's on the outside of the net, though. Yeah.
They saw the mesh move and got a little...
I would be surprised if he had made that shot. He was kind of backpedaling, falling away from the goal. While
kind of pulling himself out of an angle.
Yeah.
And then went near side, so really kind of removing his opportunity. Here's Aiden McLaughlin with some pressure. Tchaikovsky takes that one nicely off the turf.
Tchaikovsky using that speed and misdirection there.
He's kind of the package of Garrett Eddy and Adam Proney put together with the speed and the power. He's also exceptionally skilled.
Really fun to watch.
Here's Andrioli.
Yeah,
going one-on-one with McLaughlin.
Out here, yeah.
Here's Gus Salinas. Gus gets so excited when he gets the ball. I think the thing for him to become a more effective and more consistent player is going to be to actually calm things down.
Composure, yeah.
He's so excited and so he is talented. I've seen him do some amazing things on the cross floor and field. It's marshalling his resources effectively that will make a difference for him. Here's Andrioli, Watchman McLaughlin, one-on-one. And hand-to-hand cutting back. Now they're going to McWilliams, who's off on his offside. Looks like Warner's been at the other end. Here's Salinas. Fights off the check from Skirving. Kind of push pass over to Williams. McWilliams is going to slow things down to Salinas. Will hustle to the bench and bring Peroni out. We talked about Peroni needing probably a little bit of rest too. He's at an NL camp. He's been doing a lot of work this weekend. So he's been resting. It's all the way to and beyond the net. Comes out to Hanrahan, scores!
Wow.
Cool, Hanrahan, what a finish, great draw and dish, and then a penalty coming after the goal, so Trent's going to go ahead and get a man advantage.
Yeah, and Western really needs to cut it out with these penalties because it's hurting them. It's hurting them. And,
Brock took a lot more penalties than Trent yesterday, several of them towards the end of the game, as they were kind of frustrated, but boy, you just can't put yourself in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I think, a completely unnecessary penalty is what it looked like, just from the timing. Talking about the goal, though, Peroni certainly looks like he's been at an NL camp with that feed.
He is very talented.
Just putting it right in the box for his teammate for an easy, quick stick finish.
I think that's no penalty. Number 41, Adam Peroni.
We have a violation on the face-off, so Trent's going to get possession, and Cody Arsenault has really been controlling a lot of the face-offs in this game, but we talked about face-offs being important. I think less so in terms of the original reason where we thought that Trent needed to be able to control the game a bit more, the pace, so they could, Wes Tchaikovsky could get through with the shorter bench to the end of this game. Now, with 22 and a half minutes to go, I think it's just possession that's important, but they get it right there through Aiden McLaughlin. Here is Peroni up to Tchaikovsky. You can see him looking. If there's a chance, he's going to shoot, but Greg was right up on him. And again, all day, John Gregg has been watching Tchaikovsky. Hanrahan's in the middle again. They take a peek, but the slide was ready to come. And they're going to have a rip from Andrioli. That's blocked and scooped up by Gregg. Long outlet pass. Western's got some momentum. Cody Ward over along the far sideline. Yep.
Another great penalty kill from the Western man down team there. Looking really strong with their 5-man slide package.
Yeah, Crowley is in the penalty boxes. He's taken another penalty, but now he's released, and Nick Ferris steps on the field for it. That rolls out, and it's going to be Western possession. Cole Davis at the top, watched by Tchaikovsky. He's going to rip a high that Monroe was pretty casual about giving that. I mean, it went over his net. He I guess he knew it was over. It was only over by, I don't know, 6 inches or so.
Yeah, it didn't look very far away from here.
It looked a lot more dangerous than I thought that shot was going to be when he wound up for it. Now he's looking for another one. This one he goes high to low, and that's going to be Western possession as Julian Simeone was back there in position. Roger Nurse gives it the one hand up on the foot. We were talking about that last night. We were hanging out with some of the refs and talking about everything, and some of the other refs were saying, we need the big dramatic possession call from Roger Nurse at some point. Hard work here by Cody Ward, but equally hard work by Connor Laird. Behind the back, finds Simeone, rips it high to high. That's a great pass from Cody Ward.
What an assist.
Oh my goodness.
Not leaving the Trent defense with much time to react there. I mean, that was, how do you defend against that?
Yeah, I mean, you got Laird on him, giving him some hard defense, and we mentioned a couple times that Tchaikovsky probably considered by many people the best player in the league. If he's not, I think Cody Ward is right up on that list.
I think so.
I mean, 4-time All-Canadian, and you talk to Jeremy Talibi, the head coach at Western, and he's effusive about how much Cody Ward does for his team, because he scores, but he does so much more. He's the hardest working player on the field for them a lot of the time, going for ground balls, doing whatever is best for the team.
Riding, for instance.
And sometimes it means getting out of the way and drawing one of the best defenders out of the way. In that case, it meant just working his way in with power and then making the brilliant pass over to Simeone. Julian Simeone's really stepped up his game in this tournament.
That's right.
Second half yesterday and then all of today in particular.
Both of the Simeones really are working really together.
Mm-hmm. They're working again as Tristan passed the ball to Julian and went to center pick, but Conley got through it. Trail check attempt. That's a trip.
Yeah.
Inadvertent, but he definitely tripped him up, and Conley knows it. He's just going to head to the penalty box. Big moment here in the game. 3:44 to go in the third quarter. Tied 5-5. This is what you're looking for in a Baggataway Cup final.
Oh my gosh, it's just been world-class lacrosse for the last 3 games here.
Dawson over to Ferris. You go to Davis and down to... Cody Ward is there. He's in the middle, and they lose the ball. And it's grabbed, but then dropped or checked away by Kit. Luckily, Cole Hanrahan was able to step back over center to pick up the ball.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate miss for the Western man-up team.
And is Conley released now?
Looks like
yeah, there he is. Yeah. Conley's going to make his way back out onto the field, but they ran out an attack or mini first. Peroni's up at the top taking the pass here from McWilliams. And Peroni, I think he's having a chat with Nick Tchaikovsky about what they're going to do. Nick Ferris is watching him. Ferris, speaking of good two-way middies, I mean, he's one of the top scorers for Western. He's also been a solid defensive player for them. I love seeing the two-way guys. Tchaikovsky on Crowley. Gets by him. Nice recovery on the slide from Hayden Nix to help. They come over to Andrioli. Oh, he likes this angle. But nice job by Ferris to get on him and take it away. Here's Peroni. It's Philip Mazuka on him. We saw Mazuka playing some minutes yesterday. It's a big moment for a guy to come off the bench. And he does not look intimidated by it. Cody will hand it off to McWilliams. Is that a timeout?
That's a timeout on Trent, and we are under 2 minutes left to play here in the third.
Set things up. They took a timeout yesterday, 2 minutes into the third quarter, which seemed like a strange one, but Mark Farther, when he wants to set something up, he's going to allocate his resources accordingly. 1:57 to go. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Mederi. Sorry for any sound issues we've got. Hopefully it sounded okay for everyone, but we really appreciate all of you being with us for this fantastic Baggataway Cup championship game. This really means something.
Yeah, I mean, just a pleasure to watch, and
players really leaving it on the field. We're seeing much less of some of the unsportsmanlikes that we saw in the past few games. People trying hard, but remaining respectful of their opponents and teammates.
Such contrasting styles with these teams, and I think it's fascinating to watch. And I just think it's two great coaching staffs. For Trent, Mark Farthing, the head coach, young coach, fairly new in the game. I think he's one of the great up-and-coming coaches in field and box. And he's got Matt Evans, Matt Riel, Eric Grice, Josh Wasson, and Pete Rennie helping him out. And Jeremy Talevi is a veteran coach. He's done this. He's been doing this for a while, and he has done such a good job of adjusting to the players. I was talking to him before the game. I said, you guys have very different warm-ups. Trent, we didn't even see him for a warm-up. They're off doing their thing. Western, they're out there. They're wearing very traditional drills. And I said to Jeremy, you have seems like you like to have a sort of more structured. He said, honestly, it's about whatever works for the guys. I just want to put in place things that work for these guys so that they can play their best.
And that's the best answer you can get from a coach, right? Just trying to actualize his players' vision. And just be there. Be there for the players.
The rest of the coaching staff for Western: Scott Watson, Chris Standish, Wes Cooley, and manager Carl Toulouse.
Lots of experience. Lots of experience on that coaching staff.
They bleed purple there, and of course on the other side, a lot of guys who bleed green. Peroni will start with it. Watched there by Michael Byrne, the All-Canadian D midi. Andrioli takes the pass from Peroni, who does the statue pick. They're being very careful to avoid, I think all these players, to avoid any kind of a illegal pick.
I think we only saw the one illegal pick, and that was in the quarters.
And that was pretty serious. That was very clearly a pick. Andrioli watched by Ferris, who's going to take a bit of a swat. Under a minute to go here in the third as Trent is slowing things down. Definitely looks like they're working towards a final shot.
Yeah, looking for that last shot of the quarter here.
You look at the flags on the football posts, and as Peroni takes it, and they actually go into the net. They try and feed it through the hand, and it's going to be turned over. But the wind is really blowing, and it's pushing Nick Ferris up the field right now. Adam Kitchen running with him. He'll hustle back, and now we've got Kitchen back in the defensive zone, which I don't think is that comfortable for Trent or for him. See if Western tries to go after him.
Yeah, that's certainly a matchup that they'll want to exploit if they get the chance.
Well, he's on Nick Ferris right now, and but they're back door, and they ignore him. They get Kyle Dawson wide open, and that turnover costs Trent as Western gets one just before the third quarter will come to a close.
Is that Ward on the assist there? I didn't catch it.
I did not catch it either. We should hear in a moment. I think it probably was, but.
Yeah, if it is, that'll be his second assist in very quick succession.
So Western has gone back up. They're up 4-1. Trent came back with a head 5-4, and now Western has got themselves a lead again.
And we're at that point now where one of our keys to the game is coming into play here. Trent needing to score more than 5 goals if they're going to want to win.
We nailed it. We nailed it. I hadn't thought about that. I'd forgotten. Trent's got it. Conley says, here, Nick Jankowski, you take it. And I think, plays blown in, and he's going to go. Sees the double team, and I think Trent's going to just let the third quarter end. So it will be 6-5 for Western when we come back in 2 minutes, and we'll have 15 minutes to decide who is the 2019 Baggataway Cup Championship. Thanks for being with us across friends. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Mederi. We'll be right back. 3 minutes of break. All right, welcome back to Cross Friends. We are just about set to go here with quarter number 4. Western 6, Trent 5. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Maderi, and we are set to decide a Baggataway Cup champion. Cody Arsenault for the Purple Western Mustangs, who are going right to left on your screen, and Aidan McLaughlin for Trent in their white with the green trim, going left to right for this final quarter. Arsenault pulls it out, and now he's heading to the net. Still got it in the back of the stick. He'll rip it. Shoots it wide. Western will get it back as Dawson was the man backing up. We saw Arsenault take a shot yesterday with the ball from the back of the stick, and that one sailed on him and almost took off out of the tournament, out of the stadium. So he decided to keep this one low, and actually got a pretty decent shot off, just a little wide of the net.
Yeah, I think that some face-off guys might have recognized what's happening there. He might have one of those sticks where the ball gets a little bit stuck, so it's better off to shoot than to try to pass and have the ref realize that the ball's stuck in your stick.
You know it'll come out and take the big rip, right?
Exactly.
So if you try to just pop it out, then you're going to turn the ball over if it won't come out.
So you just got to pretend like that's what you're doing.
Nick Ferris, watched by Johnny Lynch, hands it off to Ward. Big save, Dylan Monroe. Romanchuk trying to grab it. Cole Davis is the guy who gets to the ball. Has it knocked loose by Laird, but manages to protect as he picks it back up. Then he comes in. He had Ferris with him. He's going to shoot himself and scores.
Yeah.
Davis on the dodge across the top. Gets around Johnny Lynch. And, boy, what a shot by Davis.
Yeah, and that came from one of, what looked like a greedy check from the Trent defense. Going for the over-the-head check was
Close Connor Laird going for that one.
Yeah, and just gave his man kind of open range at the net.
I love the sign. One of the fans right there in front of us turned around. I think I held it up to the camera. You guys probably saw it with the sign number 22, Cole. Number 22 on the program, number 1 in our hearts. Go Coley. They got a chance to enjoy that one. Tchaikovsky races back in, grabs that ball, hasn't knocked loose. It was picked up by Riley Campbell, who lighthouses through a couple of defenders and gets it ahead. Nice play, but then he threw the pass away. Diving play by McWilliams to try and keep it in, but he couldn't get it. Oops, turned down the wrong button. So folks, we did switch headsets at the half, and I turned down Chris's headset while I coughed there. Nobody enjoyed that. But you are, I'm sure, enjoying this championship game here, the 2019 Baggataway Cup. Our thanks, by the way, to McGill University for hosting. Another terrific show.
And to Concordia for allowing us this stadium here.
Big time.
Great turf field, I might add.
The field's great.
It's beautiful.
Ferris, watched by Lynch. He's going to go back and start the whole thing all over. 12-12 to go, fourth quarter. Western now up by 2. Trent needs a stop, and they've got to get that 6th goal. Sidearm rip, that one's wide, but there's a pair of Mustangs backing up. Dawson will take it. Up to Ward. Push pass by Ferris. Doesn't quite connect, but now is picked up by Davis. The most recent hero for Western. He's stripped, though, by Connor Laird. Big collision by everyone, and Johnny Lynch is going to pop in. He can't get the ball. Ferris comes up with it. Huge ground ball. Goes behind the back, and it gets to Ward.
Really good ground ball work there.
Davis will slow things down a little bit. He's got Romanchuk on him. Romanchuk just going to blast through the screen.
Moving it down to X now. Looking to set up that 1-4-1, initiating from the wing now.
Oh, Ward stripped by Riley Campbell. Was trying to get through him, and Dylan Monroe comes away with it. And then he heads back. Kind of running back into trouble, but he makes the pass over. And, oh, great pass through to Conley. Can Conley conjure some more magic? He really will shoot, but he misses. That one's stopped by Orlando, rolls off into the corner. It's going to be picked up by Kitchen. Heck of a run again, though, by Curtis Conley.
Was looking for that repeat of the game.
It was almost the same spot. He just tried a different shot. Maybe he should have just gone back to that hip. Pass back to Peroni.
Really important possession here for Trent. Hopefully they can get a goal if they want to bring it to within 1 goal deficit.
Obviously, the clock is the enemy of the Excalibur at this point, but they have time. I mean, 10:15 to go is a ton of time to go get 2 goals. Got Salinas with it. Watch there by Mazuka. Heads back out, gives off to Peroni. He's heading in on Ferris. Has a chance to shoot on the run. That one was wide, well wide. And he's looking for a call. Not going to get it. But Trent does have the ball. He comes back to Peroni. He'll shoot. Just missed again. That one was closer, it looked like, as he was spinning off the check. Here's Kitchen. He's watched by John Kitt. It will be Trent possession. You can see the goal Hanrahan was saying, that's off of Western. He was right. It was tipped. The pass going through. I think he just wanted to make sure the refs had noticed it. Players can be very helpful that way.
They can.
9:12 to go. Ferris watching Adam Peroni. He's just walking out to the top to get things set up. Tchaikovsky with a pick. Peroni shoots 5-hole. Stopped by Orlando. Picked up by Hayden Nix. Got Salinas on him, but wow, that's some wheels by Nix as he is opening some space, and he is going deep into the offensive zone. I thought he actually had a lane to the net, but Nick Tchaikovsky was coming for the slide and may well have blown him up if he tried to go much further. The safe play handed off the smart play, and he does it. Now Western can just bleed some clock here until they see a shot that they really like. Simeone.
Yeah, and you'd have to think at this point with 1 more goal, it would be in the bag for Western.
Ryan McLean with the ball. Having memories of Ryan Miles scoring 5 goals for Western in the matchup 3 years ago when Western beat Trent 11-7. Don't think we're going to get to 11-7 today. A definitely a lower scoring game. Of course, the games are shorter, 60 minutes instead of 80, so probably proportionally a similar game. That game, I felt like Western always seemed to kind of have, even though it was close throughout, it felt like Western probably was in control. Conley, what a pickoff. Short pass to Laird. He's going to change direction. One hand to the turf and holds up. But this one has definitely been up for grabs.
Oh, yeah, back and forth all game.
Lynch under pressure from Dawson gets it ahead to Romanchuk. Nice snag. There's a chance. Romanchuk going for the pole goal. It wouldn't have quite matched the drama of Conley yesterday, but it would have been a big one, but he couldn't quite get it.
Crease violation on the play as well.
Yeah, once he came down, it was clearly going to be a crease violation.
Yeah. Great pass there on the clear. making some smart decisions here.
Crowley watched by Hanrahan. He's going to go through Orlando, who's there sending a pick. That's a little payback for the bump on Monroe at the other end earlier. Here's a great run by Crowley. And again, I've said in every game Western's played that Crowley will make one play during a game that just makes you shake your head and say, wow, and that was the one there, just running through all that.
With space and then making a perfect pass all the way across the field while backpedaling. I mean, that was pretty athletic.
Yeah, he's terrific. Pass to Ferris, doesn't get through. Romanchuk tries to grab it. And then interference call, so Western is going to have a chance with Jaden Sample going to the penalty bench.
That's not what you want as a Trent player.
So I think it's Hanrahan. Oh, is that for the bump on the goalie? Yeah, they've had possession. I think that's for the bump on the goalie.
He did run by with his elbows up, kind of there.
Oh, I don't think it's a terrible call.
Yeah.
You have to protect the goalie.
That's what I hear.
I know the Americans don't get it. You got to protect the goalie. Oh, what a grab by Ferris. Feeds it down. Oh, my. The save by Dylan Monroe. Can't get the second one. What a finish.
That first save was incredible, but Tristan Simeone there to pick up the easy rebound and a quick dunk. So that brings the score to 8-5 with Western in the lead.
5:08 to play, and that is crushing. I think Trent's taking the time out here to try and get things rolling, but boy, that is, I mean, they're down, Trent was down 4-1, but that was early in the game. We saw them come back, but this is going to be challenging.
And one thing we've noticed this whole tournament is the outstanding play of the Western defense.
Yes.
Yet another game where their opponent was unable to score more than 5 goals. And I don't think that there's a coach around that would be unhappy with that performance.
No. I think they'd be fairly comfortable with that.
It's about as close to perfect as you can be.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, Trent, they've worked hard. They've been trying to generate chances, and they've had some. Or Michael Orlando has been good, but he hasn't been extremely tested.
It's true.
I mean, he's been good throughout the tournament, but they haven't. You know, with the young goaltender in there, they've just done a great job. And with Manarash Najjar being the alternate goalie, an all-Canadian goalie for the last several years, and a real backbone for them, and not available this year due to some injury or illness, then Orlando's been forced into the breach, and he has stepped in wonderfully for them.
Absolutely. And then again, defenders just limiting the shots on goal. We saw that Trent had several shots last possession, but only I think one was directed on net.
Monroe with that brilliant save a moment ago, but then no chance afterwards.
Yeah.
Huge face-offs at this point. Trent has to have possession.
They've got to have every single one if they want to win.
And this one's going to be the longest battle of the game. Arsenault kind of looked up. I thought he actually kind of clamped down, but it's going to be Romanchuk coming away with it for Trent. Here's Andrioli. 4:48 to go for Trent. Well, for both teams, but for Trent, they would love to have more time. Western, the clock can't tick fast enough at this point. Although they're not really the kind of team to be worried about that. They're just going to keep playing, keep doing their thing, playing their game.
Yeah.
You mentioned their defense, how good they've been. I mean, John Gregg, number 13, has been great. He's not even out there right now. But, he is. He's up on Tchaikovsky, of course. Just have to, that is Crowley. A big save there by Orlando. And Gregg isn't out there. That's A.J. Skirving, who's been excellent. He was an All-Canadian during the season. That was an honorable mention.
Showing some agility there, dodging that big hit.
And an interesting little pass to get it over to John Kidd, who gets to Hayden Nix. Nix eludes a check and gets it ahead to Cody Ward, who catches it like a wide receiver. Here's a penalty coming behind the play.
It was a late hit on Nix.
Yeah, and that's just a frustration penalty, I think, from Trent, but that is not going to help the cause. And boy, the Western Mustangs, this didn't necessarily look like their year when they lost twice to Brock by substantial margins, 7 and 8 goals. They lost a game to Guelph that surprised a lot of people. You know, they came in here, had a tough game with, they handled Nipissing pretty well. That shot's wide. Had a bit of a tough game, a very tough game with McGill. I mean, they were down 4-1 at the half.
Yeah,
and then dominated the second half to win 6-5. And now, they're 3 minutes and 11 seconds from hoisting the Baggataway Cup for the 4th straight time.
That's right. And I think they deserve it. I mean, they've been playing hard this weekend.
Yeah, a great effort by Trent. Full credit to them for a fantastic weekend, fantastic season for the Excalibur. But unless they can really weave some magic here, they're going to go home just one step short of their ultimate goal. Ward, long lob pass over to Simeone. And at this point, it's Western throwing the ball around and Trent just chasing as Trent's still short-handed with Conley over serving a penalty.
Penalty just released now, back at full strength. Tchaikovsky comes on.
Trent's got Andrew De Silva, number 44 right there. I wonder if he can pull something out of his hat. Monroe's right over along the sideline. He's getting into Nick Ferris's face.
In case you missed it at home, that was Monroe on the strip, on the turnover down there in the corner.
You were mentioning yesterday, those goalie sticks, they hurt. Chop down on you, they're not comfortable. Keegan Crowley on Tchaikovsky. Kind of tucks his stick under Tchaikovsky's arm. Trying to lift him up. Tchaikovsky fights his way free. Nice hustle play by Michael Byrne to swoop in, grab that ball, gets it over to Kit. Some pressure from Peroni, but he fights through it. Doesn't connect on the pass, and Hayden Nix is just going to pull up. You know what, Tristan Simeone fight for it. It's a procedure call. It's going to be out of play, and Trent will get possession. Mark Farther, the first to make the call. The official waiting for the play to actually be done. Farther just wanted to make sure he was aware. Here's McWilliams. 2 minutes. We're into the final 2 minutes now. Clock is stopped on the scoreboard. It's still ticking with the official scores. McWilliams. Watched by Skirving. Just not letting him get to the net. Reverses course. Goes to the ground, and Ferris on him. Boy, Ferris has been good.
And just not letting up at all.
No, and Ferris knocks that pass down, and then Adam Peroni flattens him. And Ferris just pops up, and he'll go and join the offense. What a game, what a tournament Ferris is having. And the Western Mustangs feel it on the bench. We're late, they're getting into the final seconds, and after they got that strip and the possession, you can see they are jumping up and down, bouncing on the sidelines. They're fired up. They know this is about it.
On their feet now.
Michael Byrne, is he going to put it in the net? He will. Actually, he's going to run. He's not. He's going to run into Monroe, and Monroe goes after him. Romanchuk goes after him, rips his helmet off. That's probably it for Romanchuk for the game. And you know what?
Flags flying all over the place now.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, first of all, it's 8-5 in the final minute or so. If you want to put the ball in the empty net, go ahead. If you want to go and shoot at the goalie, go ahead. My feeling is if the net's empty, you know, if the team leaves the net empty, you can put the ball in it. I don't like what they do in the last couple seconds, but if you then run into the goalie, I think you kind of deserve to have your helmet pulled off. That's just me.
Yeah, sure.
Really? You like protecting your goalie?
I mean, it didn't look malicious at all.
He ran straight into him.
I don't know, what is this? Like, every other player is super tough except for the goalie? Like, what is that?
I think the only way to solve this is to have you go back in time and have you born and raised in Canada instead of Florida.
I think that's it.
I guess out on the beach they don't protect their goalies, but whatever.
No.
Lots of flags. They're all over the place.
Yeah, there were some exchanges.
There's 4 out there, right? There's one just beside the Trent net inside the crease. There's one the other side of the crease. There's one out at the 44-yard line and one at the 53-yard line. So Trent's going to be, I think it's going to be about a 6-on-1 for Western. I know that doesn't actually happen.
We'll see what happens. I think they could even call it that the penalties are canceling out and just let the boys play because it is a 3-goal deficit in stoppage time here.
Yeah, I don't know how long is left. It is stop time in the final couple minutes. Don't know how long is left. Looks like Western's got a couple of guys in the box. Byrne, who's gone to the box. It's like 2 weeks. Tristan Simeone, Romanchuk, and Conley for Trent. Yeah, maybe it's just 2 weeks. Maybe we're going to be even. See this, after the game ends, we will have the player of the game announcements, and we will have the alternate team announced. And it's quite an alternate team. There's been some great performances in this tournament. I just want to say thank you, Chris Mederi, for joining me. We brought you on board fairly late, and you ramped up really quickly to get up to speed, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be here. It's really fun, and what better way to spend the weekend than watching some great lacrosse and just talking about it.
Yeah. Thank you, lacrosse fans, everyone, for being with us. And Nick Chikowski was standing there by Roger Nurse. Roger Nurse was going to give him the ball, but he's got to go over in the corner and get one. Trent will come away with possession. Looks like we've got 6 runners per team on the field.
7-on-7?
I think it's 7-on-6. Oh, no, it is 7. You're right.
There's the offside call. Should be coming. Yeah, that's the tricky thing when you're playing with such few players.
You don't even know who's supposed to go there. Adam Kitchen with a big swat at Keegan Crowley. He just runs through it and calls for his teammates to come to him. And obviously the final few seconds are coming because nobody's doing anything. That's going to be it. The Western Mustangs are your 2019 Baggataway Cup championships. The 4-peat is complete. That is quite a game.
Quite a game, yeah. Really fun to watch and really strong finish from Western.
Jeremy Tallini, Chris Standish making their way out to the pile.
Special shout out to Hayden Nix.
100 Kufa win.
Triple digits in the Kufa win.
How many? I'm trusting you, Alex. I haven't gotten down the support research, but I believe you.
That's his own report.
There you go.
He is a smart guy. He's in med school.
He's pretty sharp. You think he can add?
I think he can add.
He's been playing for a while. And how many championships? So that's 3 in a row with Western.
1 with McGill.
1 with McGill in 15. Because McGill won in 2012, then Guelph twice, then McGill in 15, and then the four since then, 16, 17, 18, 19 in Western. So are we saying it's 3 years he's been with Western now?
I think so.
And then the one with McGill. That's a lot of championships. He's a good player.
He's a great player, and we saw it a couple times there, just making the right decision on the clear, not forcing anything.
Yeah.
Guaranteeing possession for his team. And
poised and calm.
Yeah. Saw that from a lot of Western players.
We'll give a shout out to the Trent Excalibur, Mark Farley, and the rest of the coaching staff, and all the players. Nick Chakowski, the 5-time All-Canadian, who was sensational again in this tournament. And, they just laid their hearts out there. And, all full credit to Western. I would have loved to see Garrett Eddy be able to play. I think it changes the dynamic of this game a little bit. I don't know that Trent wins anyway because Western's just really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say having an extra weapon like Garrett Eddy, whether or not it would have changed anything.
Last time they met in 2016, Garrett Eddy scored 4 goals for Trent. So you add 4 goals and they're up 9-8. Now, I totally get that the math is not that simple. There are no direct correlations like that. First of all, can you score 4 goals on this team? It's pretty tough to do. Other things change, whatever. But I'm just saying it definitely would make a bit of a difference in how this might appear.
It would.
We're going to be presenting the championship banner, the Baggataway Cup itself. Give a shout out to the guys out on the field right now. It's Mark Walker, our treasurer, with the banner. With him holding the Baggataway Cup there, just putting it down on the table, is Kevin Kaplis, assistant commissioner. And out at center field is David Fennicky, the commissioner of Kufa, handing the player of the game for Trent award to Curtis Conley. Spectacular tournament for him. He had the game winner yesterday in overtime and great again today. Boy, if he'd made that shot from a similar spot, that could have changed the course of this game.
Yeah, exactly.
And a big round of applause for Nick Ferris, the Edmonton, Alberta native, as he is named Western's player of the game. I mean, Cody Ward obviously could be in pretty much any game. He was great, but Nick Ferris doing it both ends of the field, scored some big goals, some big assists. The one huge assist on the Simeone goal.
Absolutely,
He was just fantastic. For the tournament for both of those young men. We're going to have the all-tournament team shortly.
And for all the players, really. I mean, it's just like, how are you going to choose a player of the game?
It's hard.
You know, it is hard. Everyone is giving their all. And
for Trent, I mean, Nick Tchaikovsky, any game could have been. He was great again today, but Conley was terrific, and Tchaikovsky was yesterday's player of the game, and well deserved. And there's a big hug between Dylan Monroe and John Orlando. The dueling number ones, the goalies, both of whom were great for their teams. And you can see the respect. I mean, as intense as it can get, as fired up and fights as they can get with each other, you can see the respect in the handshake line. These teams obviously have a lot of respect for each other.
Absolutely, and you always hope that people are professional at the end of the game, even if helmets do come off and your goalie's fingernails get chipped.
You say your fingernails get chipped? Your goalie's It's what we do in Canada. We protect our goalies.
I'm totally kidding. I believe in goalies' rights.
Yes. I just thought it was funny yesterday because you're like, it's a perfectly good hit on the goal, even though it's like 3 seconds after. Okay, 3/4 of a second after he threw the ball. But still, it was after he threw the pass. And then later, somebody gets just mauled in the middle of the field. You're like, it's just a good hit. I'm like, what? Well. Or was it the other way? No, it was the other way around. I was like, it's just a hit. You're like, no, it's kind of...
I don't know.
It's been fun. It has been fun.
Thanks again for having me here. It's been awesome.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Chris Maderi, McGill alum, and Outremont, wasn't it?
Living in Outremont, yeah. Moving shortly.
To where?
To Colorado, actually.
Get out.
I know.
That's exciting. Whereabouts?
In the Gunnison Valley.
Okay, so, I don't even know where that is.
Just south of Crested Butte, if you're familiar with like the ski areas.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm pursuing a master's program in environmental management.
Nice.
And
sorry, environmental management?
Yeah,
that's big over here.
So gonna be doing that. Gonna be doing some skiing. Gonna be doing some rock climbing.
All right, we're going to put... it's exciting, but we're going to get to the all-tournament team. Cody Ward, number 14 for Western. That was a no-doubter.
Of course.
No question whatsoever. He's been spectacular all-tournament, as he always is. And I have to double-check if that's it for him. But Cole McWilliams, number 99 from Trent, had a very strong tournament. And I'm still befuddled with the one shot he didn't take today, but he was very good. Scored some key goals for them.
Yeah, he was great to watch.
And the other attack, we're going back a bit to Friday. This is going to be Beau Peltier. He was outstanding. 4 goals, including the one where he ran into the triple team, was lifted up off the ground and still shot.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Fantastic. Midfielders, this is another no-doubter, Nick Tchaikovsky from Trent Excalibur.
All weekend.
for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's been outstanding. The only 5-time All-Canadian I'm aware of. We could go back and do some research. I know this year it was his 5th time. Cody Ward had his 4th time. Adam Kirchmeier from Brock had his 4th. Another midfielder, the opposite number 24, another great two-way player, Nick Ferris, the Edmonton native.
Absolutely. And I think even both of these guys might have had upwards of 15, 20 minutes on the field today. They're out there for
They're constantly.
almost the whole game.
Mitch Ogilvie from the Guelph Griffins. Great game on Friday for them. And he gets his notes. There were lots of other good midfielders, but he did a lot of good things. At defense, Curtis Conley from Trent was just outstanding stem to stern. Player of the game today and an all-tournament team member. Then, from the Western Mustangs, so many of the players played so well, but John Gregg was terrific. And John Gregg they actually sent John Kitt out because I think they didn't quite hear the name, and Kitt got out halfway and then turned around and John Gregg came out. I'll tell you, Kitt, I guarantee you Kitt was in consideration for that as well, but John Gregg was just... had such a good tournament. Didn't really see a lot of him today, which was really odd. And then Adam Kirchmeier from the Brock Badgers. The All-Canadian had a great tournament.
From Trent.
The LSM, Curtis Romanchuk from Trent. And Keegan Crowley certainly in consideration for that, but Romanchuk, I think honestly his Friday game, and he was just the dominant player, and very good game yesterday, really kind of pushed him over.
It didn't seem to make many mistakes at all. There was never a moment where he was looking out of control.
The D-Midi is another Brock player, Alex Pace. So he and Kirchmeier getting recognized. And the face-off specialist, Cody Arsenault from Western.
Another player who was looking strong throughout the weekend, yeah.
Really, he definitely finalized that today with a very strong performance. And the goaltender, Michael Gallo of the McGill lacrosse team, who, this young man has just had a tremendous career. He's been a backup, worked his way up, lost his mother last year. It was a very emotional season for him that he dedicated to her, and it was fantastic, the McGill's game in this tournament. You look at John Orlando and some other guys who were great, but Gallo, I just thought was lights out yesterday, keeping McGill in the game.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, he just had save after save after save.
Yeah. So that will wrap things up. We're going to finish up with the presentation of the Baggataway Cup itself.
Now we ask for the Western team
And they're lined up there, bent over, ready to sprint forward. The captain's group, Cody Ward, Keegan Crowley, Michael Byrne, and Nick Ferris. The captains of the Western Mustangs receiving the trophy from David Fennicky, Kufla Commissioner. That's going to put a bow on this season, the 2019 Kufla season. I am Stephen Stamp with Chris Maderi. Thanks to everyone here at McGill for putting it on. Thanks to you all for being here. I'll tell you, this has been such a pleasure to be part of this league for 7 years now. This is my 7th Baggataway Cup, and it never gets old. They're just going to get over and lift it up. The jubilant Western Mustangs crown the season with their 4th straight championship. It's been an absolute pleasure to be part of it. Can't wait to get this thing rolling again. Chris Maderi, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
That's it. Thanks for cross, friends. We'll see you next time.